Welcome to the northeast end of the United States. We are in Oxford, Maine at the Oxford Plains Speedway for the third round of the Crooked Line Monday Madness with the super late models. And we've had two races so far, and if we'll pull up the championship, you will see that it is extremely even in this championship. Race winner number 1, Justin Mumbergat, with 85 points. Right alongside him, race winner number 2, Jason Tarasenko, with 85 points. And look at the rest of them, all close behind. Tanner Marr, Ryan Bean, Joshua Sexton, Mark Young, Tyler Johnson, Scott Drost, Lauren Arfman, and Bill Gross, rounding out your top 10 championship contenders here. This is race number 3, and we're going to try and find out who can take the lead here in this championship tonight. The fact is that Mumbergat and Tarasenko will be not equal after this one. That's for sure. So let's take a quick look at the race information for Oxford Plains Speedway, located in Oxford, Maine. It is a 0.38 mile oval, and as you can tell from the track map, there isn't a straight spot on this track. We're pretty much basically, this is a real oval, and it is a very short track. It is not easy to pass and run side by side on this track, as we will undoubtedly see during this race. And we've been looking at practice. We've got 9 drivers entering this race so far. It's not a huge field, and that might actually be a good thing tonight, because this is a very short and tight track, and large fields would definitely give us some problems here. The ambient temperature is 76 degrees. The relative humidity is 55%. Partly cloudy sky. We're early evening here. Winds of 3 miles an hour. And we have a track temperature of 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not too bad. Shouldn't hinder the drivers all that much. So if we're looking at the practice results here currently, we are looking at Dustin Mumbergat being the favorite once again here, with a fastest lap time of 14 seconds and 21 hundredths of a second. And that tells you how short this track is. We're going to be doing 125 laps here tonight. We can tell you some more information. Let's bring up the information on the race car that we're running. iRacing has a beautiful replica of the super late model. It has a 358 cubic inch cast iron V8 block, 550 horsepower being produced by that 4-speed manual transmission. The car weighs about 2,800 pounds, and the top speed of these cars is right around 190 miles an hour on open long tracks. Obviously, we're not going to be making that kind of a speed here tonight. We can bring out your dashboard real quickly. That gives you an idea. Since we're looking at Russell Brown there in the 00 car, Brown is running through the turns with about a 75 mile an hour speed, climbing up to 90 on the, I guess we could call them straightaways, but they're not really straight. So we're far from making that 190 miles an hour top speed on these cars here. As you can see, you can't actually, but as I can show you, we have practice pretty much concluded here with Dustin Mumbergat on top, and Russell Brown, as you're looking at him in the 00 car, he is running second best time, only 0.05 hundredths of a second slower than Mumbergat. Times obviously will be very close here indeed. During qualifying, as said, we have 9 cars that we have on track, or entering the race, I should say. One of them will be a driver that I don't believe we've seen before here on the Monday Night Madness, and that is the number 91 of Yvonne Wall. And hopefully he'll stick with us and enjoy the racing here just like we do. We are looking at Bill Gross in the number 12 car, currently trying to set a qualifying time. And let's see if we can bring up a time just yet. There we have him, 14.6. And that makes him the first driver setting up a time, and we have to fix this real quick. As we see him going off track there. All right, we've got our scoring tower set back up. We have 4 drivers that have posted a time, and as you can see, we have Brandon Mettler. We caught him at a bad moment, it looks like. Brian is that was kind of on purpose on the end of his qualifying attempt. Brandon putting it on 4th position. There's your new driver. I don't believe we've seen Yvonne Wall here before in this series. We welcome him, and in the number 91 car, he is currently the 6th fastest qualifier. And let's see, we have Tyler Johnson on the provisional pole. There is Tyler. All right, one remarkable thing about this short track here is, as you can tell, we have no walls on the outside of the turns. There's grass and sand there, so in the turns, spinning out is really not life-threatening here. There is a wall on the straight parts of the track, as far as we can call them straight, obviously. And currently we have Jason Tarasenko as the only one on the track here. Here you can see the outside of those turns. It gives you an opportunity to save and catch your car, as Jason is showing us how to do. And the pit lane exit and the pit lane entry are divided from the track, as you can see, by a curb there, and some drivers I've seen in practice that would catch that curb as they were taking the turn. That would pretty much upset the back end of the car and cause them to spin around, so that is something we might also want to watch for. Jason has set 1 lap time here, 14.35 on his second lap. That is his that is the quickest time so far. He has beaten Tyler Johnson to that provisional pole. We have 2 drivers that have not yet posted a time: Russell Brown in the 00 car and Dustin Mumberget in the 16 car. So we'll wait for these guys and see what they can come up with. Currently no drivers on track at all. We have about a minute and a half to go in qualifying, so there is still some time for Russell and Dustin to get out here and come and play with us. As said, the small field tonight. Hey, we have a mishap here on the scoring system. There we go. That is your points again. Sorry for the confusion. There we go. Now we're cooking. As let me see. We have Russell Brown currently on the track, trying to set a time, and we have Dustin Mumberget on the track. Let's see what they are doing here. We would expect Dustin to be in the top of the timesheets there somewhere. Ooh, drifting that car across the finish line. And as you can tell, he saves it from any damage on that out part. A 14.275. That's his first lap and probably his only one. And that puts him on the provisional pole. Russell Brown, let's go back and replay for him real quick. Russell Brown brings it across the finish line, and he has put it on the 3rd position currently. So everybody has completed qualifying. Everybody has set a time. There you see Russell Brown's 14.414 time, and that puts us ready for the race. Let's bring up your grid here. We have Dustin Mumberget on the pole, our Canadian friend. Alongside him, Jason Tarasenko, both the leaders in the championship, both from Canada, showing us Americans how this short track stuff is done here. Russell Brown is on the 2nd row inside, and on the outside we have Tyler Johnson from Florida. Then on the third row, we have Joshua Sexton from Ohio and Scotty Stevens from Virginia. And then on the fourth row, we have Bill Gross and Brandon Mettler from Indiana. And on the final position there, on the back end of the grid, it is our newcomer, our friend Yvonne Wall, with the number 91 car with almost a half a second deficit on the quickest time of Dustin Mumberget. Patiently waiting behind the pace car. We are still waiting for Dustin Mumberget to grid up here. He is the final car. There he is. All drivers on the grid. All drivers ready to go for race number 3 in the Crooked Line Racing Monday Night Madness Championship. There we go, rolling out behind the Ford Mustang pace car there. 125 laps to go. One thing we can also tell you is that fuel is limited at 60%. The fuel capacity, I should say. They only have 2 tire sets to play with. They have 1 fast repair, meaning that damage can be quickly repaired 1 time only. The fuel and tires are not included in that instant repair. And another noteworthy thing is that the pit lane speed limit is only 30 miles an hour, so the guys are going to have to be a little careful entering the pits and exiting the pits. Make sure they don't get speeding penalties. Dustin Mumberget in the number 16 car, your leader here, following the Mustang pace car. There you see the entire field going through turns 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 3 and 4, and we are racing for race number 3 here at Oxford Plains in Maine. And it is Dustin Mumberget on the inside of Jason Tarasenko. Ooh, we have some problems in the back end there already. We have a driver that looked like he turned it around there. That looked like Brandon Mettler. He is back running again. And at the front of the pack, it is Dustin Mumberget with Jason Tarasenko right behind him. Russell Brown is in 3rd position in the 00 car. Joshua Sexton has picked up a position at the start. He is running in 4th in the 51 car. And then it's Tyler Johnson, Scotty Stevens, Bill Gross, and Yvonne Wall. Brandon Mettler running a little bit behind there. He went off track on the first lap there, and he is trying hard to catch back up with the field. 4 laps down already. Dustin Mumberget not being able to pull away from the rest of the guys. His pack is still closely together. Jason Tarasenko there in 2nd position. There you're looking at Jason in the number 21 car. 2nd position, and as you can tell, it is not easy to find your way around somebody on a short track like this. There is not really much of a straightaway. There is very hard to get a run on anybody. And Jason, it's not for lack of trying, obviously, but it's very close and very tight around here. I'll be really honest with you, it's not one of my personal favorite tracks. I like them a little bit longer, and I like having a little bit of a straight in between somewhere. But not so here at Oxford Plains. There's a lot of guys that love these short tracks. It looks like Dustin Mumberget is pulling away slightly. Jason is not really ready to give up on it yet. His 0.3 of a second is basically just a wink of an eye. And order behind there, just Joshua Sexton still in 4th position, holding off Tyler Johnson in the number 5 car. It looks like Tyler's getting a little bit racy here. Ooh, the 51 goes around. That gives us our first yellow. Let's take a quick look at what's happening here. And it looks like Joshua Sexton just basically overdoes it a little bit on the entry there, loses the back end, doesn't hit anybody, and nobody hits him. He's back on his way. That gives us our first yellow. Yvonne Wall is looking to go down pit road, it looks like. And this is obviously good news for Brandon Mettler. Brandon was running a little bit behind with a first lap off. Ooh, it looks like he overshoots his pits there a little bit. But Brandon Mettler is now running in 6th position. He has caught back up with the field. It's Joshua Sexton behind him now in 7th. Scotty Stevens is in 8th, and Yvonne is in the pits, getting the car fixed up there, getting some new tires. I hope he's aware of the fact that he only gets 2 sets, so he's basically done with tire changes for the night. We have Mettler going into the pits, and it looks like he may have just had a stop and go or something. He is already moving out. And as you can tell, that curb there separates the track from the pit lane exit there. It's a little bit tricky, a very sharp turn to get on your way. So unfortunately, Yvonne Wall is now a lap behind. Brandon Mettler is behind him on the track, but it looks like he is ahead of him in the standings. And there you have them lining up side by side, meaning that we are getting ready to get racy again. Lap number 14 will get the green flag. Dustin Mumberget and Jason Tarasenko on the front row, just like we had it before. And there we go, folks. We are once again racing. Dustin Mumberget pulls away a car length maybe from Jason Tarasenko. And Russell Brown also about a car length between him and Tarasenko. Then it's Tyler Johnson in the 5 car, who is now in 4th position after the 51's little spin around there. Bill Gross in the number 12 car is 5th. And look at Scotty Stevens working his way back up. He's already past the 51. He is trying hard to catch up to Bill. Brandon Mettler there at the tail end of the pack behind Evan Wall, but Evan Wall is a lap down on him, so the 015 is actually ahead of the car that he is behind. You can't make this up. Dustin Mumberget still your leader. Tyler Johnson there in the 5 car seems to be losing ground to Russell Brown a little bit. Russell Brown staying fairly close to Jason Tarasenko. Russell Brown currently the top American driver in this series. Mumberget and Tarasenko, both from our northern neighbors, doing a good job in this series. Mumberget won race number 1, Tarasenko won race number 2. Let's see what else we've got going on. Scotty Stevens in the number 2 car, getting a little bit of pressure from behind there. That's the 51 of Joshua Sexton. Mettler is losing a little bit of ground. He did pass Evan Wall. Bill Gross is getting some pressure from Scotty Stevens. Looks like Scotty can keep it a little bit tighter to that curb there. 12 is running a little bit wider, and it looks like the number 2 gets that nose underneath there. The number 12 car. And we have problems for Jason Tarasenko as we were watching the fight there in the back of the pack. Let's bring back what happened to Jason. Ooh, it looks like Mumberget had a little issue as well, and that means they touch on the next turn. Let's bring it back a little bit further and see what happened to Mumberget. It looks like the 16 gets a little bit loose. He has a major wiggle, and that causes the 21 to go past, and then the 21 turns in not quite clear of the 16, and we are not going yellow currently because Tarasenko's car was off the track and there was no problem on the racing line. It's Tyler Johnson that has actually picked up the lead because of this. This is kind of an awkward incident, it looked to me. But that's the way it can work on these short tracks with the open area on the outside of the turns there. Jason Tarasenko not causing a yellow by spinning out. And we see Dustin correcting everything in his favor. He is going by Tyler Johnson and picks that lead right back up. Let's go check on Jason Tarasenko. He is 5 seconds behind Mettler. He's the last unlapped car at this point. So Dustin Momberget, Jason Tarasenko is a total of 5 seconds behind Mettler. Momberget at the lead, has the lead again, and it's Russell Brown now right behind Tyler Johnson, trying to challenge Johnson for second place. Then we have a little bit more distance to Scotty Stevens, but Scotty Stevens is doing good work here, as we saw before. He is holding off Bill Gross and Joshua Sexton. Sexton now trying to come to his inside, and it looks like Joshua Sexton picks up 4th position there from Scotty Stevens. That's a good battle we have going on here. Brandon Mettler is mixing himself in there now, passing the number 12 of Bill Gross. And he is also coming to the inside of Scotty Stevens. Those new tires are working for him. Maybe he had something else done on that pit stop. A little change in on the car, maybe. I'm not sure what he did, but it's working for him. Brandon Mettler has picked up 5th position and is now going after the 51 of Joshua Sexton. It is Dustin Momberget still in the lead, with Tyler Johnson and Russell Brown fighting for 2nd position. Sexton now in 4th and Brandon Mettler in 5th. Tarasenko is trying hard to catch back up. He is eating away 2 seconds of that deficit he had on the guys in front of him. Only 3 seconds behind him and between him and Bill Gross. And once again, Tyler Johnson and Russell Brown fighting for 2nd position. Joshua Sexton pulling away from the group behind him. Mettler is leading that group with Scotty Stevens and Bill Gross right behind him. Ooh, excuse me, a little bit of a cough there. Tarasenko is definitely gaining on Gross. He has brought it down to 2.4 seconds now. 15 seconds behind the leader, so he's going to have to be a little bit careful not to get leapt. We can try to see out of the nose of the leader's car. We can't see Tarasenko. So he's not quite that close in danger of being lapped, I guess. And that's because he is 9 seconds behind the leader, not 15. I read that wrong. I apologize. So behind Momberget, it is Russell Brown that seems to be pulling away a little bit from Tyler Johnson and closing in on Dustin Momberget. So let's see if Russell can put some pressure on Dustin here. He's definitely closing in. Let's ride along with him here for a moment. And as you can see, that was the straight. It's not really straight. It's very, very tight and short all here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. On your left, you see that curb there that separates the pit lane entrance and exits from the racetrack. It's not a good idea to catch that curb. And we can see Russell getting a little racier here. He is looking for that lead. We're talking lap 44 of 125, and it's Russell Brown trying to get to Dustin Momberget here. And behind him, it is still Tyler Johnson, Joshua Sexton in 3rd and 4th, Mettler in 5th, Gross in 6th. Scotty Stevens in the number 2 car has fallen back behind Gross. And Jason Tarasenko is catching up with these guys. We're going to have to keep an eye on that as well, because he obviously is going to try very hard to work his way through the field and get back to the front. Let's take another look here at the 00 of Russell Brown. He is still pushing hard right behind Dustin Momberget. It looks like it's settled down a little bit. Lap 47 of 125. And we have Tarasenko now putting pressure on the number 2 of Scotty Stevens on that outside. Oh, you see the number 2 take that inside curb, and that loses him. That's costing him a little bit of speed, and it allows Jason Tarasenko to get around the outside of the number 2. So now he is on his way to Bill Gross there. It looks like Russell Brown is having a little bit more trouble keeping that front end right at the bumper of Mumberget. It looks like it's a little bit on and off. Sometimes he closes in, sometimes he loses a little bit. As you can see here, runs a little bit wide, and then he gets on the gas fairly good. So let's take another look here at Jason Tarasenko. It has already made good work of Bill Gross. He is now in 6th position. Bill Gross could not hold him off, and Bill has to be careful not to be also overtaken by the number 2 of Scotty Stevens. Well, back up front, it's Russell Brown that's sticking that nose underneath there. He is definitely trying very, very hard, and it looks like he's going to be picking up that lead here anytime soon. They're still side by side. Making a pass is hard around here, I can tell you that. And you can see Russell Brown is needing definitely more than a couple of laps to make sure he really gets that position. Dustin is still shown as your leader, having a little bit more momentum off the turns on the higher side. Russell now picks up the lead. There you have it, Russell Brown in the 00, lap number 55. He picks up the lead from Dustin Mumberget. There you see Dustin Mumberget in the number 16 car, having to let go of Russell Brown here momentarily. But that doesn't mean he's done for the night. Obviously, he's going to do his best to come back. It looks like we're going to start catching up with the back markers. That is Yvonne Wall there in the number 91, taking the high side there, not wanting to interfere with the leaders' battle. That is good sportsmanship from Yvonne. We enjoy that the back markers leave the racing at the front untarnished. Meanwhile, we see Jason Tarasenko having passed the 015 of Brandon Mettler, so Tarasenko has put himself back into the 5th position now, going after the 51 of Joshua Sexton. Doing a really good job here, Jason Tarasenko from Canada. From Langley in British Columbia, and running for the Harding Motorsports team. Russell Brown still in front. And it looks like Russell is actually pulling away from Dustin Mumberget by about a half a second right now. Tyler Johnson still in 3rd. Joshua Sexton still in 4th. And there is Jason Tarasenko closing in on the 51 already. The fastest lap of the race so far has been run by Dustin Mumberget. 14.74 was his lap time. But he finds himself in 2nd position right now. Jason Tarasenko closing in on Sexton here in that 51 car. Jason running very strong. Lap 64. We are pretty much on the halfway mark here. Close behind him now, and then it's a matter of finding the momentum. Ooh, he does that beautiful, good momentum coming off the turn, and he just throws it underneath that 51. Joshua Sexton gives him the room that he needs. Very good driving from both these drivers. Jason Tarasenko picks up 4th position. And let's go and check on the tail end of the field. Scotty Stevens is running in 8th position in the number 2. Bill Gross in the number 12 being lapped by Russell Brown and Dustin Momberget. That means that we only have 6 drivers left on the lead lap. Russell Brown still has this thing. He's got about 6/10 of a second on Dustin Momberget. Tyler Johnson still in third. He is working his way through traffic. Tyler has about 2.6 second deficit on Momberget. Then it's Jason Tarasenko in 4th position. He has got about 6 seconds to make up towards Tyler Johnson, so the field is starting to stretch out quite a bit. In 5th place, we have Joshua Sexton. And about 2 seconds behind him, it is Brandon Mettler in the number 015 car in 6th position. And then it's Bill Gross. Bill Gross has about a 5.5 second deficit on Brandon. And he is currently in danger of being lapped by the number 5 of Tyler Johnson. He gives him the room. That is good driving. Respectful to the guys that are quicker. That is always a good thing. Russell Brown still leading and extending that lead to 7/10 of a second currently. Doing a very good job here tonight. Russell Brown ran strong in both the first races. And he's showing some muscles here tonight at the Oxford Plains Speedway. Lap 74 going into lap 75. I'm sure that all these guys will start to feel those tires get a little bit less grippy. The lap times are currently about, let's see, 3 to 4/10 of a second slower than the best times they've set before. They should be able to do it on one set of tires, but they don't have to. They actually have one spare set they can use. We've already seen Yvonne Wall take those tires in the beginning. Yvonne Wall is 2 laps down at the moment, running in 9th position. And there you see Russell Brown coming up on the 015 of Mettler, putting a lap on him. Dustin Momberget will be doing the same thing there shortly. And it does look like that traffic is eating away a little bit from the difference between Russell and Dustin. It is down to 3/10 of a second. And it could also be that Dustin just simply found his second wind here tonight. Let's ride along with Dustin here for just a little bit. It does look like he's got some good grip in those turns and closing in on Russell Brown. Ooh, a little bit of a hiccup there on that curb. It looks like he's getting ready to put some more pressure on the 00. Russell now having to take a defensive line there a little bit, trying to stay a little bit lower than the 16 car. And more traffic coming up for Russell and for Dustin. That might make all the difference in how this fight is going to pan out here. Lap 83 of 125. Russell Brown behind the number 2. The number 2 moves out of the way. It looks like the number 2 has a little bit of damage on that front end. Scotty Stevens, that might explain why he is not keeping the pace with these guys. And it looks like the number 91 of Yvonne Wall also taking the higher side to let these guys fight for the lead there without interruption. Russell Brown still has it. Dustin Momberget is doing his best to get it. Tyler Johnson, meanwhile, is still in 3rd position. There you have the number 5 car. Jason Tarasenko still in 4th. He is about 3.8 seconds behind Tyler Johnson. Russell Brown still your leader. Feeling the pressure, feeling the hot air behind him there. We have Bill Gross going into pit road, and I don't believe he did that entirely voluntarily. Let's see what happened to him. next turn. Watch for what's going on. Oh, he's getting a little early on the gas. Gets one wheel on that curb. Moves around through pit lane. Tries to stay out of the way of everybody else. And luckily he doesn't hit anything. Good job for Yvonne Walls, or for Bill Gross, I'm sorry, to catch that. And it looks like he ultimately did decide to go down pit road and have those tires changed. Oh, he's taking the alternative route here. Maybe got a little bit disoriented there. And meanwhile, it's still Russell Brown defending his leading position from Dustin Momberget's aspirations. Bill Gross is now deciding to go down to pit road. Misses the pit lane entry there, but finally makes it down pit road. And he's probably going to opt for new tires. Russell Brown and Dustin Momberget. Lap 91. It's a pretty intense racetrack. You don't really get very much time to just catch your breath, as there really isn't much of any straights between these turns. And even though the race might not be very long with these short laps here, I'm sure the drivers will feel it when they're done. Dustin's getting really close now. He's looking for ways to see where he can put that 16 car underneath the 00, or maybe try the outside, although I don't see him doing that right now. But he is getting close. And about 7 seconds behind these guys, it's Tyler Johnson by himself. Jason Tarasenko is gaining on him. It is now under 2 seconds. But let's keep an eye out here for Russell Brown and Dustin Momberget. Fight for the lead. Ooh, it looked like a little bit of a touch there. Not quite sure if they really did touch, but it kind of looked like it. And Bill Gross is coming back into the race. He's 10 laps down. Momberget and Brown still going at it here, and in the leading 2 positions. Little connection issue for Russell there. I hope that's not going to spoil anything, because this is a good fight to watch. Right along here with Momberget in the number 16 car. You're looking at Russell Brown. Oh, a little bit of a blinking issue for Russell. And as you can imagine, that is a little bit difficult for Dustin, because when you can't see the car in front of you, it's hard to tell where you're going to go next. Hopefully we'll not have any major problems because of this. It looks like it's getting a little bit better. Russell Brown pulling away a little bit. Could be that Dustin sees that car blinking and thinks the better of it for just a little bit. Make sure that everything stays okay. And it looks like Tarasenko has caught up with Tyler Johnson. That is going to be the battle for 3rd position. Jason Tarasenko worked his way from last through the field and now fighting for the 3rd position. Looks like he's really getting racy here. He likes to be a little bit higher than Tyler, it looks like. Gives him a little bit more momentum off the turn. He's going to try that outside once again, it looks like. He's got that nose alongside the number 5, and he is definitely going to do it. Side by side. And it looks like Jason has picked up 3rd position. Not quite over just yet. He is on that higher side. Having to do more mileage, obviously, but it does look like he's finally got that car cleared. And then the 5 sticks it back in there. Now he's clear. Jason Tarasenko picks up 3rd position, and he's got 10 seconds to make up before he gets to Dustin Mumberget. Let's go check on Dustin. He is still making Russell Brown's life as hard as he can make it. Looking for an opportunity. Obviously, back markers are going to be an issue. They're coming back up on the number 2 of Scotty Stevens and what looked to be Evan. No, that is the number 12 of Bill Gross. So 2 cars in front of him there, and those are cars not battling for position, but they are side by side. Gross is 10 laps down. Scotty Stevens is 7th. He is 2 laps down, and it looks like they are both taking the high side there to make sure that they don't interfere with that leading battle. That's good sportsmanship. We really appreciate guys doing that. There's no point in fighting the leaders when you're 10 laps down and you only have like, 12, 13 laps to go. Russell's problems with the connection are not quite over yet. Hopefully it doesn't lead to a major issue. Oh, there we see the 16 of Dustin Mumberget looking to take the lead away from the 00. Russell's not giving up. On that higher side, neck and neck past the line. It is still Russell's being scored in first. It's too bad that connection is not helping. It's not easy for him either. It looks like Dustin has placed that car in front of the 00 and picked back up that lead. We have 11 more laps to go. Dustin looking good, pulling away a little bit from Russell Brown. We've heard Dustin Mumberget, I believe it was him that told us before that he feels comfortable on those longer stints where he has to equal things out and not save his tires a little bit and then have a little bit of an advantage at the end of the stint. And that's all really a matter of pacing yourself. You know, you can go all out in the beginning. You'll pay for it later because your tires will be done. You can also take it a little bit more easy in the beginning and not worry too much about track position in the beginning and then have a little bit more left over at the end of the stint. And that's exactly what it looked like Dustin was doing. Let's go check back on Jason Tarasenko. He's in 3rd. He is eating away from the deficit he has, but it's 9 seconds still and doesn't look like he's going to be able to catch up with Russell Brown before we finish this thing. We have 7 now. We have now 6 laps to go. We're on lap 120 of 125. Dustin Mumberget is pulling away from Russell Brown. That is simply the difference in tire management, I would believe. And Russell Brown still about 9 seconds ahead of Jason Tarasenko. So unless one of them makes a major mistake, I would say this thing has been settled. Dustin Mumberget in the lead. Russell Brown in 2nd. And Jason Tarasenko in 3rd. Tyler Johnson hanging on to 4th place here. He is on the verge of being lapped by Dustin Tarasenko. He gives him the room. So we have 3 drivers left on the lead lap, and that's Dustin, Russell, and Jason. Behind Tyler, it's Joshua Sexton in the 51. He is running in 5th. And Brandon Mettler in 6th. Dustin Mumberget is going to get the white flag next time by. Leading by about 1.5 seconds now. There you have it. White flag. One more time around for Dustin Mumberget. He's got this thing in the bag. There's your race winner, Dustin Mumberget. He does it again. He is the first 2-time winner this season. in front of Russell Brown, and Jason Tarasenko brings it home in third. And then it's Tyler Johnson, Joshua Sexton, Brandon Mettler, Scotty Stevens, Von Wall, and Bill Gross brings it home running in ninth position, 11 laps down. Well, let's go check out on our race winner here. There you have him running some donuts, burning some rubber. Good job for Dustin Mumberget. There is your race results. Let's go see if we can find these guys to talk to. Dustin, this is Mark in the booth. How you doing, sir?
Good.
It looked like you had it in the bag once again, but it was a little bit harder than the first time you won the first race, I believe. I mean, Russell made you work for it.
Yeah, for sure. It was a really good race. Car wasn't exactly perfect, and I was struggling honestly, but that's it's just good.
So what was the problem? Was tires wearing out too quickly, or were you a little too loose or too tight? What was it?
I was just pretty much wrecking loose the entire race. I was more to the right than I was to the left. Just kind of hanging on the whole race, but still good.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a well, what we could call a major wiggle there in early on in the race, and it kind of it got Jason to go around you, and then there was a bit of a misunderstanding, I believe, between the two of you, and Jason got turned around, but that kind of cost you a little lead right there, didn't it?
Yeah, I got loose going into turn one, and I grabbed the curb a little bit with the left front, and almost spun out, and I was just still trying to keep it straight. I thought Jason was just going to run the top or whatever, and I was still trying to gather it back up, and we made contact. I apologize to him. I really didn't mean to do that.
I totally understand. It's one of those things that happens, Dustin. Obviously. All right. So, well, you recovered from that pretty good. You worked your way back forward. You had Russell to deal with there. It looked like Russell had the upper hand for quite some time, doing actually pulling away from you a little bit for a while there, and then you caught back up with him. How did you manage the final pass? Was it Russell's tires going off? You think, or what was it?
It just looked like I was turning a little bit better on exit. I don't know. I think I started to get the whole driving it through the slide thing figured out at the end there, which helped me. It's obviously not ideal at all, but I got it figured out good enough.
What do you think of this track? I mean, this is a very, very short oval. There's really not a straight part on there. You're pretty much constantly turning. Is it hard on you as a driver?
Yeah, it's just you're kind of always going left. I'm not the biggest fan of this place at all. Really, it just doesn't suit my driving style whatsoever. It's pretty much if you're good here, you're really good, and if you're bad, you're way off. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not really my kind of deal.
All right, I got you. All right, Dustin, thanks very much. Is there any thank yous and love yous you want to throw out there before I let you go?
Yeah, I got to thank Ryan Kuhn and Ryan Kuhn Motorsports for everything he does. Trent Goodar Designs, Thomas Axum, Dale Shaw for spotting me through the race. Just can't thank them enough.
All right, thank you very much, Dustin. And let's move on to Russell, second place. Russell, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, it looked like you had stuff pretty good under control. Once again, you're kind of the guy that quietly starts this race, just does his laps, and then you managed to get around Dustin there. At the end, it looked like he was a little bit stronger than you. Was it tires going off, Russell?
I think a little bit of it. I really didn't expect the track to have as much usage in it, and I don't know, maybe I kind of used a little bit too much too soon, or whatever. He's just, like he said, he could turn a little better than I could, and starting off a little freer that actually kind of helped. And you know, I could roll the center really good. It just right there towards the end just didn't want to seem like it wanted to turn right in the center like I would want it to. And I was really having to kind of wait before I could get back in the throttle. But all in all, it was a good night. It was a good battle. It was fun running with Dustin, and hopefully we can continue to do it.
Absolutely, it was fun to watch. That's for sure. Russell, anybody you want to throw some love yous and thank yous out there before I let you go, man?
Just want to thank George 811, Midwest Power Source, Jason Teresnico there, and for helping me out and get me to come run with this deal. It's been fun, and Leduc Matthews Racing, Ross Brown Race Cars, and appreciate y'all guys for broadcasting it, and Crooked Line for putting the series on.
All right, thanks very much, Russell. We'll see you next time for sure.
Danville, thank you.
All right, Jason, a good start to the race. It looked like you were battling with Dustin there at the beginning. He had a bit of a moment there. You went around, and it looked like a bit of a misunderstanding as you came to the next turn. And I guess you're kind of lucky that there's no walls in these turns here.
Yeah, absolutely. She kind of did the snap back to the right there, so we were able to get it turned around and back on track. So yeah, just it was early in the race. I probably shouldn't have stuck it in there and pinched him down as much as I did. I thought he was a lot looser with a lot less speed than what I thought he had there. So just kind of a misjudge. I think it was just both of us trying to take real estate. So it is what it is. But we fought back. We came back. We had a decent car. So I hate this place. Absolutely hate it. Hate it. Hate it. I normally will skip this place if somebody was running it. But anyways, I'll take it, man. I had to get back on the podium and dig our way all the way in those green flag laps. I'll take it.
Yeah, I had to laugh there a little bit, dude, because I'll be really honest with you. I've raced this place once. I don't care for it either. It seems to be like it's one of those tracks. It's too short to be. It's too short for these kind of cars. It's not big enough for any kind of car, really. I don't know. I just don't look at this as a very fun place either. But it is what it is, and I will say you didn't waste very much time working your way through the field. It looked like you had a pretty decent car, and despite that off, it didn't hurt your tires all that bad.
No, the car actually was really good, and I got to thank Russell Brown because I was bouncing around on which setup to use and everything like that, and he was trying to calm me down and just told me just go for something that's got consistency, and that's what I did. And it wasn't the fastest, but I could drive it with good lap time, so I'll take it, man. Like I say, this place it does need a wall around it, but about 10 feet deep, and then fill it with water and turn it into a swimming pool is all I can say.
That's funny. All right, Jason, thank you very much. Anybody else you want to say, you want to shout out to before I let you go?
Dynamic Autosports, great team. I love them. I got to thank Russell Brown at Russell Brown Race Cars, Midwest Power Source, Harding Motorsports, and it's just a fun league. I really appreciate all the guys putting in the hard work to put this league on. You doing the broadcasting. I think guys have a lot of fun in this league. It's a little bit of camaraderie, even though there is competitiveness on the track. Off the track, there's a lot of camaraderie, and I really appreciate that. It's hard to find in leagues nowadays.
Absolutely, and that's the way we love seeing it in any kind of racing, man. On the track, you fight each other hard, and you fight each other as clean as you can. Obviously, it's close racing and shit happens, but the camaraderie off track makes everything worthwhile. I think absolutely, you're right, man. Thanks very much, Jason.
Thank you so much for doing these broadcasts, man. I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, you sure will. Thank you very much, man. All right, folks, that'll do it here for Oxford Plains. You heard the commentary there of Dustin, Russell, and Jason, your top three finishers. It's not their favorite track either, but they still had a lot of fun doing this tonight. 125 hard fought laps. It looked like Dustin came out on top with probably tire management. Russell not even expecting to be up there as much as he was, and Jason having to fight back after an earlier incident where, for once, he was lucky there was no wall on the outside of the track, saving it from damage, working his way back through the field, and coming home with a very well-deserved and good third-place finish We have Tyler Johnson in 4th, Joshua Sexton in 5th, Brandon Mettler in 6th, Scotty Stevens in 7th, Yvonne Wall, our new driver here, I believe. I haven't seen him before. He is in 8th, and Bill Gross brought it home in 9th after a little incident there where he looked like he was a little disoriented on the infield there, but he brought it to pit lane, got it fixed up, and brought it home. Next week, we are going to be racing at Richmond, which is obviously also still a short track, but it's a little bit roomier than this one, and that's where we're going to have round number 4 in the Crooked Line Monday Night Madness racing series with the super late model stock cars. We hope to see you there, and until then, I hope you stay healthy and be kind to one another. This is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. We'll see you next week.